Are you ready to incorporate some terror to your life?
I don't like horror movies.
I tend to shy away from horror movies.
Honestly, I don't watch much horror movies.
They scare me.
Don't let blood and gore scare you away. Sign up for a terrifying journey into the world of low-budget horror filmmaking. Who's in?
Okay, everyone, welcome to our first day of film school.
3, 2, 1.
My Bloody Podcast.
Oh my God, we have an amazing episode today. We are talking about a new documentary that is premiering at Fantastic Fest in Austin, and we're so excited to see it. It's called Silver Screamers, and I have the director on the show. He's an intercontinental champion of horror and cinema. Give it up for Sean Cisterna. How are you?
Nice to be here, Brian. Thanks for having me.
Oh, so good, and so good to see you, Preston.
Good to see you too. I don't have anything hardcore mean to say here. This is just all sweetness.
It is sweetness. Let's start here. Okay, Sean, walk me through the origin story here. Who woke up one morning and thought, you know what the world needs? A film starring senior citizens. Was this an epiphany or more like a slow burn obsession? And how long did it take before someone actually said, fine, let's sign the ticket and make this a reality?
Yeah, great question. You know, I read this short horror story several years ago. It's called The Rug by this horror author, Ado Van Belkom. And I thought about adapting it for a long time because it stars, the story centers around a senior protagonist. And one day I thought, what if, we're making this film about a senior protagonist? What if we shoot the entire movie with a crew of seniors? And so that whole idea, went back and forth in my brain for a few months. And then this flyer came across my desk for a fund called the New Horizons for Seniors program. And, we often apply to multiple film funds and get denied because there's just so much competition out there. But this was a fund specifically for senior-based activities. And so I don't want to say I cheated my way into kind of spinning it to make work for a film, but I spun the application to work for a film. This was going to be a film project that I could bring seniors together in a community sort of setting, teach them about filmmaking, and I would just so happen to use their funds to pay for the making of the film.
Yeah, any way which you can, right? Any way to get it done. That's the way to do it.
Yeah, I was going to ask more specifically about the rug as this central character in the film, which is such a clever metaphor. I'm curious, since you were kind of talking about like you had a bit of an obsession with this concept, but you found your own way to explore it. So I'm just curious more about exploring that idea and using it as a symbol for unresolved issues or resistance to change and how it may have shook up your life in some way.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think the fact that a senior was the center character around this horror story. I mean, over the years, I really started to pay attention to how people around me are aging. So my grandparents passed away. My dad's in assisted living. Friendly neighbors would kind of come and go. So seniors were always on my mind. And when this short story with a senior theme just kind of naturally led to this group of seniors helping to bring it to life. So I think it was mainly about that. Is just seeing seniors deal with whatever issues they have to deal with, and not a lot of people want to speak about that. And so, the idea of sweeping problems under the rug in a literal sense was appealing to me.
That's good. And I gotta say, one of my favorite things about this documentary is how unintentionally hilarious it can be. The oversized fonts on the scripts that were printed, the seniors wrestling with technology, like it's some sort of final boss battle in a video game. Were there any other perfectly sweet, maybe ridiculous little moments like that you had to leave on the cutting room floor?
We did a sound workshop with the seniors at a post-production studio, and we really wanted to teach the seniors, listen to the creative sounds employed in the creation of sound effects, and to witness them watching scenes from The Exorcist and that made the final cut. But we showed clips from Psycho, from A Clockwork Orange, and all these other classic films, just to really pay attention to the sound. It was just like their faces went from smiles to jaw drop kind of right away. These are not films that they've experienced in their life before. But yeah, we showed a clip from The Conjuring, and it just was unintentionally hilarious, is the word. We were just doing like a sound workshop, but and of course we had to show them the clips, but their reactions were pretty priceless.
Was it like gasps or frightened, or was it like just what are we
Oh,
doing here? What
oh,
was
just turning the chairs around and not wanting to face the screen, using their iPads to block their their vision, their field of vision. But yeah, the whole idea of the documentary was to demystify the filmmaking process for them and have them be active participants in it. But sometimes you have to face the horror head on.
love that. I love that.
Did any of them, because that's one of the things that I was most curious about when they're watching The Exorcist. I just wanted like to know about what sort of conversations were they having after they watched it? Like, were there any of them come up to you with like some surprisingly interesting thoughts about any of the films or clips that you showed them?
Again, that was more of the technical side of things. So it was like that whole discussion about sound. Like, how do you make a kind of a rug come to life through sound when rugs don't make noises? And they wanted to use some sort of vocal gestures to simulate what the rug was internally feeling, almost like a naughty little pet. And so it was kind of inspiring to see them, work out problems in their head and apply it to the film they were making.
I love that. Here's the thing about Silver Screamers. It seems like every single person in this film seems like they could carry their own documentary. Were there any subjects or storylines you fell in love with but had to leave unexplored, like ones you secretly hope to spin off into their own cinematic universe? Because a lot of the people were really charismatic and really cool.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, I love this whole story with Audrey. She's like a 96-year-old. She was our sound recordist. She's, has a little difficulty hearing, but she was our sound recordist. Yeah, I mean, I didn't want to dwell on, she had a bit of memory issues, but and I think that's explored in the film a little bit when the sound recordist mentor has to reteach her and teach her again how to use the sound recording device. But yeah, I loved her story. She was a line dancer, and but she's just lost her entire family, and she has like no real nobody else in her family. They've all passed away, and she's the last one. So just um, being able to bring her out on this project and have her be a part of this community was really sweet and inspiring. And I wish I could, just follow her around all day because she's just, a 96-year-old, ball of energy.
I
Yeah.
love that.
Since the film touches on themes of legacy and memory, I'm curious how that may have impacted your own thoughts of your own legacy.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, well, this story is really about, it's obviously a story of seniors that come together to make a horror movie, but it's really a story about being a part of a community and how creativity can give purpose to seniors as they age. So when I think about my future, I want to be creatively active as much as possible.
Mhm.
The hours sort of drift away when I'm in the middle of a film project, and I hope that retirement from the filmmaking industry doesn't soften that desire to be creative. So it just this is a film that proves that how creativity can give purpose to seniors as they age, right? They're able to
Yeah.
be active, able to be social and engaged, and work towards a common goal. And in this case, it was a community screening of their film. They just want the community to come out and support their little horror film, and it
Mhm.
gives them a purpose, and it's inspiring to witness that.
It was inspiring just because to see how kind of nervous or frightened they were beforehand and then like pros at the end, like that was really cool
Yeah.
to see a transformation there.
And I think that's all about every filmmaker kind of goes through that. We think that we're making a film, halfway through you think it's terrible, and then you want to restart over again, and it's the creative battles that go on in our heads, and we think nobody's going to be interested in our films when we finally release it, and then the mood sort of settles once that first screening is over with, and then you become excited and proud about it.
I love that. I love it. I got to talk about the ending of this movie, and
Okay.
I just got to say the ending of the horror scenes with the seniors feeling like something out of a beautifully twisted horror movie. But tell me, did the seniors actually get to choose their own demise, or were you quietly assigning deaths like Alfred Hitchcock here?
That's great. We really struggled for a long time, like several months, about how are we going to end this film. We didn't have an ending, and then I think one of our seniors said, "Well, you should kill us all." And so uh, we sat together and kind of brainstormed how we could all meet our demise at the end. And so yeah, they were able to pick and choose. Some weren't feasible. We did have an alien abduction for one of the ideas, but it was just too hard to do in the location that we were filming. But in the end, every one of our senior protagonists met the demise they wanted to meet, and had a lot of fun doing so.
That's awesome. I love that.
One of the seniors mentions you're never too old to try something new, and
Mm.
I'm sorry that me and Brian are like this with our podcast.
Yeah.
He has all the fun questions, and I tend to bring it down. So sorry about the.
No, no, it's more cerebral. I love it.
So I'm curious, like how like maybe it since the line "you're never too old to try something new." Like, what new things have you tried as a result of doing this film?
Have I tried personally?
Mhm.
Well, yeah, well, taking a leap of faith, and when it's still it's a short horror film that our senior protagonists are making, but it's still of a considerable budget, and the leap of faith in this project was to put our trust in a crew of inexperienced seniors, and seeing what happens. And I think I learned that it's a to challenge my own ageist stereotypes, and the idea was to showcase older adults as vibrant and imaginative, and very capable of producing this meaningful artistic work. And it just further investigates how creative engagement can foster that community, and purpose, and this intergenerational dialogue. So yeah, it was definitely like giving new people a chance to work on a film, and putting trust in them that they're able to kind of pull it off in a manner which where there's only so much time and money to make a film, and it was powerful to see them come through and make that happen.
I
Yeah.
love that. That just brought me to a question that I just thought of. Do you think that you will make a prequel to this movie where it's not seniors, but like young kids that you take and make a
Great
movie
idea.
with like 8 to 10 year olds to it's like,
It,
here's a horror movie.
it
Like, is
has been
that crossed
pitched.
your mind?
It definitely has. It feels like it's a fun model in which we could sub in a new sort of group, a collective of inexperienced whatevers to come together to be a part of a horror film. And I think it's there's something about horror that is uncomfortable for people who might not be of that be involved in the community, but it definitely is a tool, an impetus to help people get out of their comfort zones and explore something that they haven't explored before. I think if we made this film with seniors, recreating, like Casablanca or something like that, it would just be too perfect and sweet, and but to see them struggle and kind of work with fake blood and prosthetics, and solve problems to bring their ideas to life, I think that's more entertaining as an audience to witness than
Yeah.
recreate something that they might be already happy to do so.
Well, you could also do like a ridiculous 80s action movie too. I mean,
Absolutely.
do some similar stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be awesome. And that, I mean, that answer leads me to like, I mean, at the start of this documentary, there's this wonderful montage of seniors confessing almost proudly that they don't enjoy horror. And yet by the end, they've made a full-blown fright fest, screaming, running, and plotting their own
Yeah.
cinematic deaths. You know,
Yeah.
it looked as though they caught the bug, like they were really ready to come back for a sequel in horror. Did they, in fact, discover an unexpected new love for horror after this experience? And are you still in touch with them?
I'm definitely very much in touch with them. Yeah, I mean, I think they all love the process and would sign up again in a heartbeat. And I think it just goes to prove that Silver Screamers proves that aging is not synonymous with decline, right? That artistic expression can be a powerful vehicle for personal empowerment and social change. So it does provide a compelling case for the inclusion of creative programming in places like elder care and these senior active living centers. I'm actually going when I go to Fantastic Fest in a couple of weeks. I've actually met a young person there who hosts a filmmaking workshop for seniors, and they're going to come out to our screening and be a part of it. And it's I thought it was just me who had this idea, but apparently there's little pockets around North America where, young people are teaching seniors how to make movies. So it's pretty inspiring to see that.
Love it. Love that.
I was actually going to ask you about like what it means, kind of a general question, but like what it means for you to have this movie play at Fantastic Fest, which is, I mean, Brian and I have been going for, I don't know, maybe 15 years or something like that. And it's always, we always speak so highly of it for just doing exactly what you're kind of achieving with this film, like getting people to step out of their comfort zones. Me and Brian have seen some of the most wild movies there that have tested us in ways that sometimes we're not always comfortable to talk about. But I guess Brian more so, or me more so than Brian. But yeah, I'm just curious to what it means to you to have your film play at this festival, and to yeah, I guess this is the Texas premiere, correct?
Yeah, I'm incredibly nervous. I thought I was telling Brian before we started recording that we didn't set out to make a film that the genre community might respond to. We thought we were just making a documentary, and we'll screen for the documentary communities. But one of the programmers, had heard about our film and asked us to submit, and she accepted us right away. So it was like I thought this was a community who banded together around blood and gore and dark sort of subjects. But I learned over the last several months, it's just a community with a big heart. It's a shocking like paradigm shift, where or a juxtaposition that this genre community has such a big heart and might embrace a documentary like this, and seeing seniors kind of come together in a community sort of setting and make a film and be celebrated. It's pretty remarkable to see that the film is being embraced by the genre crowd. It's really quite lovely.
It is wonderful. And so, is this going to be your first time in Texas?
I've been to Houston before. I've been to Dallas. I've not yet been to Austin. It's been a bucket list city for several years, and I can't wait to enjoy some barbecue and see some wonderful films over the next week while I'm there.
Absolutely. And are you coming by yourself, or are you bringing anybody with you? Any surprises for Fantastic Fest?
Yes, I'll definitely be there to introduce the first screening, and we'll do a Q&A. We'll bring out some of the Texas seniors who are a part of the Texas intergenerational filmmakers to see. They're going to be excited to see our film. Yeah, our editor Lee Walker will be there, our producer Ivanetti D'Souza, and we're trying to convince some of our senior protagonists to come out. They're just terrified of flying or don't want to travel in their 80s and 90s. It becomes increasingly difficult to do so when you're I guess an older adult. But whoever is willing to come, I will kind of hold their hands and make sure they're not overwhelmed with the experience, because I imagine walking through the Alamo Draft House could be a intimidating sort of
Well, this Alamo
experience.
Draft House at Fantastic Fest is at South Lamar. They're all themed. This one is Kubrick and The Shining, so there's lots of fun stuff to do there.
I'm totally in.
Totally. And
I very much just want all the seniors commentary as they watch some of the other films that are playing at the festival. Because Brian and I have long said that like one of our favorite experiences that we've had is some of the live commentaries that they do. And so to just get a little taste of that in your film would be just awesome to see play out in real life.
it would.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, no, we when we screened the rug for the community in which the seniors lived, there was a lot of talk back at the screen and laughter at some of the horror moments, and it was really it felt like a really special community event where the seniors were able to showcase their film. So I imagine something at a on a bigger scale would be even more grandiose.
It's
Yeah.
awesome. I love it. Sean, do you have any more last questions, Preston, before we get out of here?
Yeah, I wanted to ask about the visual look of the film, which, no insult whatsoever, but when I'm watching it, um, if you didn't read up a lot on the film, you might wonder if, like, where's the line being blurred between, like, film and documentary, because the whole film almost looks like it has, like, a cinematic quality to it. So
Hmm.
I'm just curious about creating that visual language for the film as well.
Yeah, that's a great question. So yeah, our cinematographer is a guy named Danny Dunlop, and a lot of documentaries are not shot in widescreen anamorphic because
Yeah.
it's very difficult to compose a frame when you have these fast-moving documentary subjects and situations that you can't really quite take the time to set up and control. But Danny's philosophy was that seniors don't move as fast as a war correspondent film sort of thing. So
Yeah.
we were able to take our time and light scenes, and the seniors just they don't move as fast as a younger documentary subject might. So that was our rationale. Yeah, and to keep within the cinematic theme of the film, it was nice to shoot something in widescreen, and then the film that they're making is in regular 16 by 9. So
Yeah.
it's yeah, I think jumping back and forth between the archival footage, some animations, the film footage that they are working on, and our documentary anamorphic footage makes for a unique visual experience.
Yeah. So whose idea was it to, because I love this aspect of it. Like everyone's story has like the storyboard as a way to go through their own personal experiences, those moments that we don't have footage or anything to see, but it's
Yeah.
like a beautiful way to visualize it.
Yeah, that was exactly it. When we realized we didn't have archival photos or footage to correspond with our stories, that we thought, well, what's a cinematic way to do this? What would keep us in the theme of Silver Screamers? And so we thought a storyboard might be a unique way to tell this. And
Yeah.
what we had an artist, Andrew Barr, illustrate our seniors and at specific times in their lives, and it was a way to keep it filmic and move the story along.
Yeah. It was really cool.
Yeah,
I
thank you.
love that. And it's obvious from this movie, Silver Screamers, you're a cinematic aficionado. Are there any particular scenes in horror that have always stuck with you that help shape you creatively?
I do think it's The Exorcist for sure. That was the first film that scarred me and allowed, like, just had all these questions after seeing the film, and I did research on the film afterwards. It was definitely the film that made me want to be a filmmaker, and I do think it's like the perfect film, regardless of being a horror or not. It's they from the production design, like, refrigerating a set to see the actors' voices. The cinematography felt like a documentary. The sound was creative as well. Obviously, Friedkin used Mercedes McCambridge to redub the voice, so every department felt like it came together at the height of their creative powers and came together to blend into this perfect perfect film.
Love it. Love it. Sean, thank you so much for joining us here on My Bloody Podcast. And we will see you at Fantastic Fest. We're gonna have shots, we're gonna have beers, we're gonna come up with this idea for an 80s action movie and for seniors. It's gonna be fun. Can you tell everybody listening here where they might be able to see Silver Screamers at festivals in the future?
Yeah, so Silver Screamers will world premiere at Fantastic Fest in a couple of weeks. From there, we're headed to Lunenburg, Nova Scotia, then Calgary, then Strasbourg, then New York City. Later in the year, we'll be headed to Naples, Florida, at Celluloid Screams in the UK. We're getting festival invitations by the day, it seems. So it's really exciting to see that programmers and audiences are responding to the film. So yeah.
Awesome. No, I think as I speak for Preston and myself, I think the buzz around this film at Fantastic Fest is really high. So I think everybody's
Awesome.
going to think how sweet it is and great it is. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Bryan and Preston. Have a great day.
My Bloody Podcast.